What's happening, guys? Coach G coming at you with your Mindset Monday moment, helping you guys to create the mindset greater than the motivation you think you need to get the shit done this week. You got to get done. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Today's topic, we're just going to talk about the number one thing, guys. You got to be able to take the risk this week. This week's goal, you got to be able to take the risk. And here's the deal with the risk is that risk just flat out scare people. You know, you throw risk out there and people want to play it safe. People want to take the control route. But let's talk about why the risk is good for you. Specifically, 3 great things that happen when you decide to go ahead and take the risk. And the number one part about that is that, listen, guys, as much as you're fearful about taking a risk, believe it or not, those who take risk are the ones that they get protection. Like, there are certain rules made up just to protect people who take a risk. I don't even know if you guys are aware of that. Like, think about that. I don't know if you're all in a business structure, but you don't have a safe management office. You got a risk management office, right? You don't have anybody that's there to help you manage how to do shit the safe way. They say, look, if you are going to step outside the lines here, let's just see what might be the best way for you to take that risk. You got risk management there, right? And look, the second part about it, guys, look, if you're like me. Growing up, you know, I come out of college, I got tons of debt. I got tons of student loans and credit card debt that I amassed, and I hear this word thrown around, bankruptcy, right? Well, here's what I found out. What I found out is that it's not a big risk for you to sit up here and blow student loan money, and it's not a big risk for you to go out here and blow your credit card balances, right? I mean, when you want to file bankruptcy, not only does it cost you a couple thousand to get it done, but they're looking to clear out debt that is greater than what you're thinking about coming to the table with. And people that get debt like that, you can say what you want to say about them, but they took a hell of a risk to be able to be in that kind of position and still be afforded that kind of protection coming out of it. Now, here's the second important part about taking a risk, guys, is that the risk helps to create leadership. If I had to put that as bluntly as possible, just be first. If there's an idea you got, be the first one that does the idea. Don't be the guy that sits around and waits for somebody else to take the risk and do it first, and now you decide it's okay to take the same risk that you have been wanting to take the whole time, right? It doesn't work out like that, right? I mean, think about it. In every industry, we really don't always follow the last great person that did it. We follow the pioneers in the industry because there's certain things that you just can't unlearn, certain things you can't reinvent the wheel with. Right? And we got to go to the people that were the forerunners in these areas to go ahead and get it done. And every person that was a pioneer, first one that discovered a new land or that went out and discovered a new process or that discovered a new medicine, they're pioneers. They had to all take risk. Even Albert Einstein was considered, insane for a lot of the thoughts that he had growing up. He had to take a risk for that. Right? You got to understand that. So what have we covered so far, guys? Not only does it protect you when you do the risk, but also what it does is that it helps to create leadership. And here's the last part about taking a risk, guys, is that it simply helps to create opportunity. You got to understand that nothing happens until you decide to take a risk. You guys have probably heard my story before, right? I mean, my story is pretty textbook, or it's the same story. It hasn't really changed, right? I mean, people ask me to this day, if there are years gone by, why did you up and walk away from a full-time career where you were, quote-unquote, maybe, one of the top people in that particular industry? Why leave that type of security? Well, if I never left, I'd never been able to go to Hawaii and Puerto Rico and California, and as great as those places sound, I wouldn't be able to enjoy them with great family and friends. I wouldn't have been able to do a video like this to help out the guys that are in my movement, let alone help out the people that I've impacted so far in just over a year's time to have not just great habits, but to have a great freaking lifestyle. Right? I got a great friend of mine. I mean, this brother was the kind of guy so smart that he always aspired to be in that leadership role in every position that he had. And what he realized was that it was actually sacrificing and costing him some stuff at home. And he actually made a risk. It was a risk for him to not be in a position of leadership and to simply say, you know what? I'm not going to go for it, but I am going to do everything I can at home and take the risk there. The risk can look 1,001 different ways for you guys, right? I mean, look, I got people in my movement who they simply took a risk on me and themselves to have a better lifestyle and have great habits. And prayerfully and thankfully, everybody's gotten what they've asked for out of the movement, right? And look, I even touch on a topic that a lot of you guys probably want to hear right now. But I mean, look, Donald Trump took a tremendous risk just in going for president. Now, I know some of you guys are sighing and turning your nose up right now. Maybe you're clapping and applauding. No, I don't know how you're receiving this video. But what I do know about Donald Trump is that this man has no political experience. I know that also this man has no military experience. Yet he is now the Republican nominee for the president. like of the United States. And I don't know if you guys really have kind of grasped that. Like everybody talks about the running joke that went too far, right? Well, let's go ahead and put some clarity on it. I mean, he had to risk every bit of humiliation and scorn that he has probably had to endure in making it to this point. He's had to risk every level of scrutiny to get to this particular point right here. And let's be completely frank about it. Whether you're for the man or you're against the man, at this point in time, you're simply just a fan with an opinion. As a matter of fact, it's probably about a good handful of you all, probably 10,000 more than a handful of you all out there saying, well, if he could do it, then I can do it. I mean, if he can be president, I've seen that meme around so many times, right? Well, if he's running for president this year, I'm going to run for president in 2020, and I'll run for president in 2024. Look, here's the reality of it, guys. If you were going to do it, go ahead and do it. But he's being the pioneer right now, and you're at home with an opinion. Don't wait for somebody else to demonstrate it for you and let you know that it's safe to do. Get out there and do it on your own. Listen, guys, kick ass this week. Get in contact if you need some help taking over those risks, but take the fucking risk this week, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.